We have two sides of what we do. The first is the phenotyping, the prediction of that person's appearance. The other is genetic genealogy. And that's where Cece comes in.
I'm Cece Moore. I'm an investigative genetic genealogist. Genealogy has traditionally been done through records. And so we would use census records, vital records, birth, marriage, death records. Genetic genealogy is using someone's DNA to learn more about their family tree and their genetic heritage. Investigative genetic genealogy is when we're using it for law enforcement purposes, either to identify a violent criminal or to identify somebody who has died without an identity. We're reverse engineering somebody's identity from their DNA. In the Golden State Killer case, that's what they did. They found common ancestors between people who shared DNA with that unknown Golden State Killer. They built forward from those people, and they eventually narrowed it down to just one person, which was Joseph DeAngelo.
When investigators used genetic genealogy to crack the Golden State Killer case, it was a watershed moment for how law enforcement solves crimes.
So the National Park Service came to Parabon and asked if we could use genetic genealogy to try to identify Summit Meadow Jane Doe. We'd upload to the GEDmatch database.
Law enforcement doesn't access information from consumer companies that collect DNA, but they do use GEDmatch.
GEDmatch is not a DNA testing company. They are a raw data repository.
And people can volunteer to add their DNA information to GEDmatch.
And then GEDmatch runs a comparison against all of the hundreds of thousands of people who are opted into law enforcement matching. Basically gives us a list. Here are the people who share DNA with your unknown person.
And so if we can find a number of matches who share DNA with each other, we build their family trees and we look for a common ancestral couple or a common ancestor. I call that a genetic network. So I had these three sets of common ancestors that I knew had to be in Jane Doe's family tree. Now I have to find someone who is descended from all of them. So because most of the matches in this case were so distant, I had to build those trees back to the early 1700s and even the 1600s in some cases. It took me a long time, but I finally found the triangulation marriage, the convergence of all of those genetic networks. I found a marriage of someone who descended from genetic network number 1 to somebody who descended from genetic networks 2 and 3. We know it's a female, so it's got to be a daughter or granddaughter of this couple. So once I was finally able to zero in on that one couple, that one immediate family, it became obvious to me that one of their daughters had not generated any records since 1983. And when I found her photo in her high school yearbook, I was shocked how much it looked like the snapshot phenotype. So I felt very confident that this must be Summit Meadow Jane Doe.